actually saved the universe from collapsing in on itself and turning into complete darkness. So it was a dark story for sure. And all I knew, and at the time I didn't have superpowers, all I knew was this was the guy and it was my job to get him there.
And
my people
I like
were
that story.
wanting me to.
I like that. Like if I took you someplace and you started throwing up these freaking different possible, futures, it drove Dylan crazy. I know.
Yeah.
I was wanting to go, tell me what I'm supposed to do, or why you here, And we had some interesting moments together on the show, and trying to figure out, who your character was in terms of your relationship with Dylan. And that was, to me, it would have been interesting to see where Robert wanted to go with that. It would have been fun to see, and I think you can make your own judgments on that.
Yeah. And of course, every other character had their own motive, intent, and reasons to be there, but essentially, that was, for me, that's what I understood. Yeah. Any other questions, or do you want to hear stories, or where are we going to go?
Who's got questions? Who's got questions? Right there? Yes, sir. I guess Mike.
What was your favorite version of Trance? And why?
I like different trances for different reasons. I loved Purple Trance because she was so much fun to play, and I'll tell you why. I got away with bloody murder on the set. Honestly, when you look like that, you can, I stole the chalk from the camera room and made hopscotches all over the set. And they're like, oh, that's just Laura. She's just playing. And, I could do that. And I got away with it, and I loved it. So, I loved being Purple Trance.
Because you were like a little teenager.
Yeah, I was running around and causing mischief, and it was acceptable at the time. So that was fun. Not just getting away with stuff, but actually playing the character was super fun because she was a little bit quirky and funny and unpredictable and could say things that were a little bit off, and you just go, oh. I loved playing the gold trance with the dreadlocks because it was such a departure, and the makeup was wonderful to wear. Purple Trance makeup was not as comfortable. At first it was water-based, and it would actually fall off my face because anytime and I'm not expressive at all, anytime I would smile or do things, it would eventually break apart and fall off until they came up with the cream-based makeup, but still, it would feel a little bit dirty after a while. The gold makeup was beautiful. It just went on so easy, and it wasn't much of a time savings, but it was definitely nicer to wear. So yeah, there's things about all the characters I like, but Purple Trance was super fun to play. Yeah, so I don't know if I answered your question, but
Hi, I was actually referring back to her question earlier. I noticed with old Hollywood, they have a core of actors that they worked with different projects with. Have you thought about doing that yourself since you're more established out there with the different projects that you're doing, Kevin, to bring other people that you've worked with before into your future projects?
I'm actually, I have my own production company, and I've got 7 projects that I own right now. I'm bidding on an 8th right now that I want to have. And the biggest problem, once again, is just raising money. It's just a weird year right now. And certainly in those projects, there are parts for friends of mine that I would think about. I mean, I would always think about people I worked with before I think about people I maybe want to work with. Because I already know what I'm going to get with Laura. I know the professional person I'm going to get on the set. I mean, I wouldn't want to work with somebody. There are actors out there. You hear the same thing from so many different people. There's a common denominator about what they're like, and you can't think, okay, all that can't be rumor when so many people that have worked with this person is saying it. So I really don't need that on my set. I don't need that. I don't need a person that's going to disrupt it if I'm working 12, 14 hours a day, and I've got X amount in my budget, and I've got to be done by 17 days. That person's I'm not even thinking about, even though maybe he or she is a wonderful actor to work with. There are other actors certainly that I want to work with. That's probably never going to happen. I mean, for me, I'd love to work with Paul Newman, but he's not too healthy right now, and he's one of the main reasons why I'm an actor. I have had some correspondence with him in the past, through the years, off and on, through a mutual friend that I went to high school with that's interviewed him. So that's been kind of a treat. I have an amazing movie poster that was done, the original poster from The Sting, that's signed by him and Robert Redford, that I've got framed up in my office, which is pretty cool. You know, I've got some really cool projects, and it's just really a matter of finding the right time and the right money for it. And, I've got a very funny comedy for art's sake, which my wife wrote, and it's you know, that one's probably a little more expensive, but Joe Pesci's interested in being in it. And we got a couple other people. I mean, once again, it comes on the money. We have Bob Simmons, who was our line producer, money guy, and he's actually put a budget together for it already to shoot probably in Toronto to double as New York, which would be a little cheaper for us to shoot there. And it's a good comedy. We'll see if we get that done. But you know, it's tough. It's tough to find dollars right now. And you know, we're very busy raising money. I'm taking meetings. I'm meeting with a lot of German investors early next year that are coming into LA. And Germany's a good market for me. My shows still air there on a regular basis. And there's a Kevin Sorbo market there. They really love me over there. So it's a matter of
German?
Yeah, they're Germans. That's right. Well, I look like Hitler's wet dream, I guess. I don't know. I stole that from a comedian at the Improv store in Melrose in L.A. It was pretty funny, actually. He made me stand up. I just moved to L.A. and he made me stand up and turn around and face everybody. He was a Jewish comedian. He goes, "This guy look like Hitler's wet dream or what?" It's true. It was Charles Fleischer, the voice from Roger Rabbit. It was him. He was the guy. My brother was visiting from Wisconsin. He goes, "Let's sit up front." I go, "Tom, they'll kill us if we sit up front." It's the Improv, man. They just always rip people to sit up front. And he wanted to sit up front. Sure enough, I'm the one who gets picked on.
He's probably laughing.
You know. Oh yeah, he is. Yes.
Okay, another question. We know where Andromeda wound up. We have a semi-idea of where Robert wanted to take it originally. If you guys had creative control, total creative control, where would you have taken Andromeda?
You take that.
Because I'm a good writer. All right, that's a tough one to answer.
Dylan would have left the planet on his own and raised sheep. Said, "Screw you crybabies. I'm tired of talking you into trying to make the universe a better place. I'm done with y'all."
And I would cheer them and
It's a
make
New Zealand
sweaters.
thing. That's right. Well, we'd have to shoot that ending in New Zealand. That's all I got down there. Well, the men are men and the sheep are very afraid. That's their jokes. They say it. They say the best thing about the sheep is you get them up the side of the cliff because they push back. What does that mean? I have no idea. Moral of the connection later. You know what? And then we'd be in the start of Andromeda, and I would start with this kind of stuff, and her and Lisa and Lex would go, "Oh, it's 7:45. We're starting a little bit earlier today." So it's not the first time you heard me.
No. And I would blush through the purple. It'd be like 40 shades of purple instead of just one.
God. And adding Steve Basic to the cast didn't help.
Yeah.
I'm sure worse.
Potty mouth.
Yeah. Very true. But so you want the answer to that?
I couldn't tell you any better than I would mint the sweaters.
And I said it before. I liked season 5. I did. I liked it. I thought it was season 4 and 5. I mean, sure, I would have loved to see what Robert would have done, but we'll never know, like I said. And I kind of like this hidden universe thing. I mean, we don't know what's out there. I mean, I'm just like you guys. I mean, I look up at the stars and I get into it. I took astronomy. I love the stars. You sit there and you see Andromeda, which is our closest galaxy. You got to travel, what, is 2 years at the speed of light to get to that galaxy? And what's the speed of light? How many hundreds of thousands of miles?
100,000 miles per second.
per second. I thought it was a little bit more than that, but think of that. But think of that. You got to travel at that speed for 2 years to get to that galaxy. So I certainly, there's got to be life somewhere out there. We can't be that naive to think we're the only planet out here that has life. I mean, just there's billions of planets, billions of stars, and there's got to be another star and planet there that are set up sort of like ours. They create life. I mean, who knows?
I think it's silly to
interesting.
think that we're the only sentient planet.
Yeah.
Well, not sentient isn't the right word, but that supports life.
But it'd be cool if one day we could really find out, you know, in a good way. Not like,
Yeah,
not
I was
like
going to say,
Independence Day.
depends which way you're talking about. There are some not so cool versions
Oh,
we've
it's,
seen on TV and movies. Yeah.
Well, there's actually, somebody asked earlier about TV series, about sci-fi, and I'm actually in talks right now, sci-fi cable, about a new series. And it's a pretty cool idea, and I play a sort of a guy that does fishing and boating and hunting trips for people that fly. I'm like in a remote part of Alaska, just completely remote. I'm tired of it. This guy, kind of typical thing. He's gone through the armed services. He knows what he's doing. He's a bright guy, but he grew up in Colorado. He loves the mountains. He loves the quiet. And when I'm fixing, the rain starts pouring down in the opening episode, and I got a pretty beat up cabin, and I'm trying to fix it, and all of a sudden the rain stops. And you don't hear any birds, nothing. And then it's nighttime, it's night, and then you hear this huge roar of an engine, a ship of some kind, and it comes out through the clouds, through the darkness of the clouds. It's massive, and it's right over the top of my head, and it crashes in the trees beyond me. And for like 2 miles, it just rips these trees like toothpicks and explodes. And I hear these horrific sounds, hundreds of different sounds, thousands of different sounds. I grab my rifle, I go out there, I'm walking through all these ripped up trees that come up on this wreckage of a ship that I obviously look at and go, this isn't from the world, the earth. Cages everywhere, ripped up. Weird creatures dead everywhere, but not all of them died. So a lot of them escaped. It's basically a giant zoo for aliens from across the galaxies that's crashed on our planet. And within minutes, the Army shows up, helicopters, and they realize I'm the only witness. So as much as they want to get rid of me, they know that they need me to help them figure out what's going on here. And I am an expert at tracking it. I said, I've never tracked something like this, because one creature kind of semi-attacks me and dies right at my feet because of the crash. And it ultimately leads to every episode is we are not the hunters now, we are now the prey. And I've got every episode deals with one of these creatures doing a different thing. And it's pretty cool. The idea of it is very cool, and Sci-Fi Cable is very interested in it, so we'll see what happens with it.
Sounds expensive.
I think the premise for a TV series would be pretty interesting, because you can really you can make any creature you want, as Laura said. With aliens, there is no wrong or right, you know? We can all sit there and go, oh, that's BS. How do you know? You know? The planet blah. Have you ever been to the planet blah?
Would you be a better tracker than Red
That's what's
Hunter?
great about fantasy and sci-fi. That's why it's called fantasy, you know, and it's fun to have your minds go that way, because I know what you guys think about the dark corners of your mind. I mean, we all think of weird things, you know, and that's what makes it fun. That's why imagination is so amazing. And I hope this show goes. I mean, I've had a couple of meetings with them already, and Rigel TV, Rigel Entertainment, and I've met with Stars about it, cable, and we'll see what happens. But it's cool. And this is actually bought from Al Harmon.
Very cool.
This is another idea Al Harmon had. The script is amazing. It's tentatively called Hunting Ground Earth.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens with it.
Sounds a little bit like Lost in Alaska.
Yes. I'd like to shoot in Alaska, but something tells me if it does go, it'll be Vancouver. Just a guess with Al Harmon and living.
Can I be one of the aliens? I have prior work
You could be the
experience.
you could be the young perky female game warden that's in there.
Who's the guy's eaten in season 2?
If you ask for too much money, that's what happens. That's why they do these huge shows with so many cast members, because, you know, Lost and all that. Okay, you're gone then. Your favorite characters don't disappear because of any other reason, let me tell you. Bulgaria?
Bulgaria.
There.
Bulgaria.
I was supposed to shoot that movie with Christopher Lambert there originally, but now they're doing it in Louisiana. Well, I'll tell you, in the States they're fighting to keep production here now big time. Michigan just offered a 50% tax credit, which is ridiculous.
Come to Michigan.
Which is, it's true. Here's the trouble, because we're looking at Michigan to do, I'm looking at Michigan at a different movie. The trouble there is you don't have an infrastructure built with crews already there, so you'd have to bring people in, you'd have to house them, so the cost still goes up.
Come to Nashville.
You know? Come to my house.
Nashville has the infrastructure.
I'm there.
And Joe Pesci told me since my name ends in a vowel, I'm a frickin' Italian. So. I didn't say frickin', but I did see one of my buddies over here, so I'm trying to be a good boy. We had a question way back there, didn't we? No? Okay. That was just somebody saying, come to my town.
Oh, here and here. Here. We'll get to you all, I promise.
Laura, you never really got a chance to have in season 5 you did have a boyfriend, but would you have liked to have had...
The moon boy.
Would you have liked to have had another romantic...
You know, I actually enjoyed not having it, and it's the first time I can say that, because Trance kind of loved everything. Like, her thing was that she loved life. And I think in all
You're like Michael Jackson, you're asexual.
I'm not even going to go there. We could go in so many directions with that one, and I'm just going to let it go. But, no, honestly, I think that to have too many romantic interests for that character would have been counteractive, because she really, her main objective was to experience life in this body form and to really achieve her goal, which is to keep life going. And diversions like that would be fun for an experiential thing, like as an experience, but I don't think it would have served her ultimately. So I think it was a really good choice to not have too much of
Isn't it
that.
funny, because something just hit me, we always said to the writers, who is she? What is she supposed to be? Because we all wanted to know.
Yeah.
I think it was a work in progress for them as well.
Yeah.
I really do. I think, like I said, Robert had an idea, but I
Yeah.
honestly think he didn't want to tell us because he didn't want to give us the options he had in his mind for your character. Because I think he wanted to see where his own mind was going to take the storyline and ultimately lead you.
Yeah.
Because I think Trance was the catalyst, I think, for a lot of things that happened in the show. Maybe that wasn't explained well enough, but I think there was a lot of things behind her. She was the key to saving the universe.
Yeah. So,
We have another question.
I had a moon boyfriend.
Oh, right here. The blueberry, that's it.
Laura, you've done a lot of different genres, and is there one particular that you'd like to do again or do that you haven't done, and maybe even revisit a certain style of character?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think as an actor, the more variety you take on, the greater your, well, hopefully, the better your craft, the greater your experience, the more you can offer to future jobs. I would love to, I mean, I'm a history major, so I would love to do a period piece like during the French Revolution or something like that. That to me would just be like, I could be a very happy woman that way. But I would love to do a Western. I would love to do so many different things because to me, staying in one particular character is comfortable. It's not challenging in the same way, and I think to move forward as a performer, and you probably would agree, it helps to have a little bit of variety. Sometimes going on the fringes too of your comfort zone is a really good challenge as an actor. If you're pushed to a level where you're kind of uncomfortable, that's good. Like you all of a sudden discover things you never knew you could do, and it's rewarding. Sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's unpleasant, but you do it because that's your job. And for me, I think variety would be my ultimate goal. So I would be happy to do lots of genres. There are probably a few genres I would like not to do, but I'm not going to say so until I have a script and I can really...
Porn.
You're Michigan Plus again.
When I used to work at a Gold's Gym in LA, there was a porn star there. And I didn't know who she was. A very pretty lady, and she would talk to me and say, hey, how you doing? And then I got Hercules and took off, and I come back, it's like, a year later, and she's like, hey, congratulations on your show and stuff like that. And she goes, I'm going to do a movie that's going to deal with mythology. Because I'm an adult actress, and I said, well, I'm an adult actress too. She said, no, I'm a porn star. I was like, what? And she started listing movies I should go see. Check out my movies. I said, maybe I have. Titles that won't appear on my final bill. They're $3 more anyway, so they know down at the front desk you're watching. But it's amazing to me. I just thought that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. That's a career choice, I guess.
Yeah, probably not that
interested.
one.
I'm the same thing. It's not the way I want to, so to speak, expand myself.
Yeah, expand your
There are better places to go.
on the fringe of your comfort zone.
I had a very good acting coach that would do that to us individually, which I liked. Because he would see where you're comfortable, and a good acting coach should be able to see that. So he would give us roles that maybe we will never get, but he wanted us to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, because that really is your true essence. When you
Yeah.
start firing, and you start having butterflies and, like you said, the goosebumps.
Yeah.
These are all things you experience that kind of make you live on a heightened level, and it pushes you to an unusual extent sometimes.
When you did the calendar shoot, is that kind of like the same way?
Yeah, I was really nervous about that, actually. I was really nervous about doing a calendar. Definitely.
What month were you?
She was 2 months.
I did.
I think you have an admirer. I saw the photos. I don't think I actually saw the actual calendar. I thought, because I know that Lexa did it as well.
Yeah,
right?
well, Lexa's husband helped produce it. So it was Michael Shanks and Chris Judge. Chris Judge actually shot all the
Judge
photos.
shot.
Yes, he did.
Now they got worse than me.
Yeah. No,
I remember
that
that,
was.
they were very sexy.
They were, and well,
They were.
yeah, I know.
You look really good.
Thank you. Thank
Now, you had a question. She's had her arm up for a long time back there.
Hi, thank you for being here. Were there any stories of practical jokes that people played on the set or behind the scenes that you could share with us?
Yeah.
There was one we were all. What episode was it? Remember we walked in that small little room, but then it ended up being this huge.
Yeah.
Remember, it was the woman that brings. She presses a button and the whole galaxy appears or something.
Oh.
Remember, but we walked in. We were in that sulfur. We were shooting in that sulfur area.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I said, and they crammed all 6 or 7 of us, like 7 of us, in this small, like the size of an outhouse. Because it was supposed to be that you walk into this small little box. It's like Alice in Wonderland type of
The
thing. But you
portal,
walk.
right?
It was a portal. You walk in, all of a sudden, this huge room. And so on the way out, I said, you guys all go out ahead of time because I had a paper with me. And they all came out, and they were like, whoo, coming one at a time, going, wow, it's stinky, and I come out pulling my pants up, still reading the paper. And the crew wasn't expecting that. We had to do, we did silly all the time. There was one, I know when Gordon was supposed to be passed out, he was dying because of all my gog eggs in him. I found, we had this little alien puppet, and you press the buttons, and punching bag level. So I walk up to him, and they got tight on his face as I'm talking to him. I said, Gordon, you're going to make it. Harper, you're going to make it. Don't worry. Instead, I took the puppet in, and sees the puppet just comes in there and starts boxing him in the cheek. And I started saying, "Are you my daddy?" He's sitting there, and he lasts for about 10 seconds, and he's lost it.
Very serious moment.
It's a really serious situation.
Dying here, man.
Oh man.
We had Gordon actually is very good at the practical jokes. Harper. I don't know if you remember this, but I do. Gordon and I actually lived in the same building for a brief period of time. But around the corner from our place, there was this thing called Couch Potato, which was kind of all sorts of different comic book lunch boxes and different fun stuff like that. and there was a life-size cutout of you. As Hercules,
They kept it up in the main office for all 5 seasons. As people entered, there was this cutout of me.
So Gordon buys it and brings it to work. And he didn't tell you that he had it. So one day, Gordon puts it up, and he's like, "Don't tell Sorbo, don't tell Sorbo." And you came onto the set, and it was a big poster of you, and you stood there.